Welcome to another episode of the 8th Hour Podcast, where we discuss cannabis and the culture surrounding it. I'm your host, Nick, and today I'm joined by Cris, Sitt, and Will. Today we'll be discussing a few states in the U.S. that are poised to legalize in 2019 to 2020, and we take a look at a new kind of party that's recently surfaced in the Los Angeles area, the aptly named Weed Rave. A little later on, we'll have a smoke sesh and discuss trending topics that we've taken interest in, or we'll get completely sidetracked and talk about whatever comes to mind. Either way, we hope you'll join us and have a toke for yourself. This is the 8th Hour. How's it going, guys?
What's up, Nick?
Hello.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Chilling.
Chilling. So a lot of talk lately about this 10 states that are looking to legalize this year, or at least have some sort of talk about legalizing this year. Have you guys heard anything about this, or are there any specific states that you're kind of interested in seeing what happens with them?
Yeah, why don't we run down the 10 states that are looking to?
Sure. The list that I saw online, at least, listed Connecticut, Illinois, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, which I've heard a lot about personally, New York, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Pennsylvania.
Wow, a lot of coastal states over there on the East Coast. I know I heard about New Jersey because I think they're the closest one to legalizing. Is it both or just they have medicinal right now, I believe, right?
I think it's both.
Nice.
I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say it's both. A lot of people that I know from kind of the vape game and tech game and stuff that are over on the East Coast have had a lot to say about New Jersey because they have a lot of really, really old laws that are being looked at right now. But I know that it's a pretty big hotspot for cannabis, from what I've heard anyways, even though you might not expect it from Jersey. So, yeah, I'd be pretty interested to see how that goes. I've heard they have like dabs and shit over there already.
Oh, wow. Okay. I guess the most surprising one to me would probably be, I guess, Illinois or like New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But how close are they to... They're like under the discussions, right? They're going over all the legislation and all the bills and all that, what rules and regulations and all that.
Yeah, they're each in a different standpoint. Some of them are just looking at medicinal regulation. Others are actually looking at decriminalization, and then some are even looking at just straight up making it recreational for everybody.
I think
it's pretty exciting.
New York for sure. We talked about this last time, right? I think New York and New Jersey are ahead of everyone else on that list. But after these 10 states, how close are we to pretty much all the states? I think we're just short like another maybe 10 to 15 left.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, even like some like red states have been passing bills like this.
Yeah. Still need to get Texas though. I actually looked up Texas because I thought Texas had medicinal, but
they don't.
No.
Completely illegal there.
Completely illegal.
Really?
You could go to jail.
You can still go to jail for it.
So I mean, come on, Texas.
Like
life for you guys.
Life in prison jail.
That's the last thing we're waiting on, right? That's the last confirmation before we move, right?
Maybe we'll see.
I'm moving to Texas.
I mean, it depends. If things get worse out here, who knows? Who knows?
Well, besides the states that we just listed, I did a little smaller research. So last year, Michigan was the first Midwest state to get legalized for recreational.
Yes, they were.
And they are the first, well, how do you say that? They are the state that you can carry the highest amount.
Oh, really?
In the country right now.
Like how much?
2.5 ounce.
Oh, shit.
So a full jar, basically. A full mason jar.
Wow, okay.
But they are saying that even though they already legalized, to go through all the process and paperwork and to get the the permit, it won't happen. They won't be able to start selling to regular people until 2020 and 21.
Wait, so it's not you can say I'm in Michigan, I can't carry 2 ounces of weed on me.
Oh, I think you can do that now.
Yeah, that's a big limit, dude.
Having it, yeah, they're saying that it's too much, but yeah, but I mean, nothing bad has happened yet. So I guess
Okay, we're gonna have to look in more into that about 2 ounces because 2 ounces is a lot.
That's
how much is it
awful.
out here again?
2 ounces and a half.
I think out here,
Few
an
grams,
ounce,
right? An ounce.
An ounce max.
Well, an ounce a day is what they can sell you and you
Yeah.
can carry home.
Okay. So
I don't know about like out and about.
Like
though.
transporting.
Probably an ounce.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool then.
If you get caught with an ounce in like inside your car, like in your glove compartment, that's trouble. But you know, the ounce has to be in your trunk for it to not be trouble.
So like a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and if
I
it's
see
if it's prepackaged,
What
is
if
the
you have
other
a
thing they look
two-seater?
for. If it's
You
split
can
up,
still have a trunk,
Yeah, you still have a
Yeah,
trunk.
but it's like right there. You know,
a trunk or a frunk. No,
frunk.
that's fine as long as it's like closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
intent to sell is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So prepackaged or little baggies
okay.
and stuff. Then
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you have like if you just came from a dispensary, it's like, dude, come on, guys. Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
true.
nice.
So what do you guys think? You know, more and more states now. What do you think is the next big state? Full legalization, right? I'm assuming once everyone's on board.
I mean, I'm hoping this whole thing leads to full legalization in the country.
Yeah.
I think we could, take a few pointers from what Canada has done, and kind of not replicate, because I mean they weren't perfect when they started.
Yeah.
They ran out of weed. There was like a lot of issues, especially with their recycling, the packaging
Yeah.
for their cannabis.
But okay, do you guys know if Canada was all their like towns and cities or whatnot, were they like legal? Because I know they don't have states, right? Just districts,
Province.
yeah, province or whatever. Do you know if all the provinces? Anyone know if all the provinces were legal before they went full legalization? Because I want to see if do we have to have all the states
Like how to
starting
develop that.
Yeah. Do you think maybe after these 10 states are legal, then the government really, you know what, we might as well just go full legal? Or do you think it's going to take a couple more states? Like personal opinion on that.
I mean, I think it could work this in reverse, right? So the way it works now is, it's illegal in the federal level, but every state can decide if they want it to be legalized, right?
Yeah.
So it could be the same thing the other way around, where it could be fully legal federally, but a state can still determine if they want it legal or not.
Right.
I think it's a domino effect, because we have so many states. I mean, it looks to me on a map like the ones that is not legalized yet is being surrounded, and they're gonna see what works and what doesn't work, and then hopefully they're gonna adapt those things and try to approve. But imagine like if Wyoming is like the only one, right? But then when you have to travel across something is
Well, right now it seems like they're kind of clustered together, like the Midwest a little bit, and then East like
Coast,
Southeast, like Georgia and all that, North Carolina, South Carolina. But maybe soon, because we are not really updated on the daily state, what they're doing with.
We'll try
with
to
cannabis,
be,
yeah.
we try to be,
But once they announce it, I'm sure we'll update everybody and see how you can get it, or if you can get it.
Weren't you excited for Hawaii?
Yeah, I mean they have medicinal. When I went there,
Yeah.
I was hoping to just be able to buy some, but unfortunately I wasn't able to.
Sativa.
It was only
You should have just looked for a rec or a doctor that can get you a rec.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't really have that plug, and we're all like kind of just doing like we had the wedding and we were doing like the
Oh, that's true. You're
the
busy.
touristy beach stuff. But you know what? I didn't really see that many. At least not in Honolulu. I didn't see that many like dispensaries. So I'm not sure where they're all located. Probably like in the smaller towns or whatnot. But
You gotta hit
I was
up the
surprised.
locals.
I was really surprised. Yeah, I really thought
It was harder to find.
it was just full on legal over there, because everyone's so laid back over there. But soon Hawaii is gonna be
Soon.
fully legal.
I'm surprised that's not on this list. Hawaii.
Yeah, I think they're just so close that
We just assumed they're
we just
already
assume it's gonna
recreational.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, New Jersey is also already medically, it's already accepted medically, but it's mainly recreational that we're talking about here. For these 10 anyways, because what most people want to see, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but what it seems like the majority of people want to see is either recreational or decriminalized, but one or the other, because many people don't really agree with the Fed saying, okay, cool, we're down with it, because then they're going to tack on all of their crap. They're going to want all their taxes and all their individual things, which would be good for the country, but I'm sure a lot of cannabis activists don't necessarily believe that'd be good for the movement, be good for the culture.
I mean, I don't know, because if it is, then decriminalizing it, we're gonna save a lot of tax dollars on all the inmates that are in for like weed crimes or you know, wouldn't that help? We need taxes for infrastructure and all that. We don't want. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but we need these tax dollars for something else instead of keeping like people in jail for something small like weed. You know what I'm saying? So,
mass incarceration is a huge problem.
I think about I don't know the exact number, but I feel like there's got to be hundreds of thousands of people locked up for this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, for just possession or paraphernalia, possession.
So I feel like it would help a lot if we just like the whole country just decriminalize it. You know, we have bigger things to worry about.
Yeah, now. Even if the federal government, legalizes cannabis in a decriminalization way instead of, recreational way, I think that would still be good, because then every state can decide they want recreational or not. But at least that in the federal level, it's decriminalized.
Right, because we just want it to not be Schedule 1.
Yeah,
that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah,
because right now, doesn't the U.S. have the most amount of people incarcerated right now? I'm assuming, right? That's what I think. I heard something like that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, dude.
I would not doubt it.
Yeah, so we gotta do some changes, but this will help. I think it will help help the culture too. Like when people start to realize, like, you know what, we shouldn't be locking people up for this. There's murders and all this crazy stuff out there. So
there's people with loud exhaust.
Okay, yeah. Well, we don't want to get into that. That's another day. But yeah, that's
make room for those people.
Yeah. Anyways,
so out of these states that we listed, anyways, which specifically, or how many of do you think would really thrive under this new legislation if it were to pass?
Definitely New York.
Oh yeah,
New Jersey, all the tourist. I guess the tourist spots. New York, Pennsylvania, maybe. New Hampshire, I guess is a maybe too. But I think Illinois will help a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of decriminalizing and a lot of all that other stuff. So we'll see. But Minnesota, who knows? Minnesota, I think Minnesota might be the least in my opinion, but I could be wrong. That's just my guess.
It's tough because it almost seems like the like middle states are all very focused on medicinal because the demand isn't necessarily there. Like there aren't nearly as many people in Kansas to even fight for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus the people that live there are like, older folk.
Right. Right.
know.
If you guys live there, let us know, let us know what's going on or how your state feels about it or what is it looking like it's going to be, let us know.
Yep.
So we want to learn too about each state. There's so many states we mostly know like the West Coast states.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yep.
I recently talked to a good friend of mine that lives in Idaho, and she was telling me that even though she's a huge supporter of cannabis and everything, she was saying that Idaho will likely be, at least in her opinion, the last state that'll ever do it. Even if every other state was on board, like,
damn, that sucks.
It just seems to her, anyways, like the people are so kind of ingrained in their own values and their own systems of belief that it's gonna take like a couple of generations before people are finally like, hey,
people are too traditional there. Does she? Do you know if she lives in a major city in Idaho? I don't really know the cities there.
I believe she lives closer to the Canada border. I'm not sure the city exactly though.
Okay. I mean, by the time they get around to seeing the other side, it's gonna be fully legal,
right?
Country-wise, yeah. So who knows?
Do you guys think that there's a chance that it could be made federally legal, and then some states could decide to be stubborn about it and just stay?
I mean, I feel like, there's gonna be a lot of people who complain about it for sure, but just don't be around it.
I feel like that would be a Texas kind of situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I feel like just if you don't agree, just don't smoke it. Don't go with it. Don't be near it. Don't go near his dispensary. It's not, why eliminate someone else's option who needs it for, whatever it may be, something as big as, anxiety, or they just need to relax after a long day. It's like, let them do them. If they're not, as long as they're not publicly smoking in front of, schools or in front of kids or public areas where there's a lot of traffic, then I think it's fine. you know, then people shouldn't have reasons to complain about it. You don't need to put your beliefs onto someone else.
Right.
You know, the same thing goes for religion and all that. So I feel like it should be fair all around. Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be a perimeter set. So
What sort of challenges do you guys think that this whole thing would pose to consumers and growers in these new states that aren't really acclimated for
I
this
think the
kind of
number
climate?
one thing is all those new people that want to capitalize on maybe start a business and their cities, their local cities have a regulation made, you know, there's enough operations here like grow houses or whatever, and you can't be here, you have to move somewhere else. I think it's going to get really competitive. So I think that might be a major thing for people like fighting about, you know what, I need a permit or I need this licensing.
Right.
I think that, I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think it's good that it's going to create that kind of high level competition, because that can only be good for the consumer, right?
Yeah.
The more they compete with each other, the better their products are going to be.
they're gonna drive the price down too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it has its, you know, pros, but I think the cons, like you were saying, is like less people would have the opportunity to get into that industry because the barrier of entry is like way too
especially
crazy.
right here, right? California, right? It's still a ton of people, like tens of thousands of applicants right now,
Right.
still waiting in line. Yeah.
Same
So
thing's happening in Canada as well.
and it's been what, a year now, right? It's been a year here.
I think they've only given licenses to like 1,000 people.
not even like maybe like 10-15%. There's
Yeah,
still a
not-
ton of people waiting. So if California this big with this many people who grow and sell and all that is taking this long, I can only imagine states where it's very controversial.
Right.
It might be even harder to get a license.
Because even California, we've been medical for like, I don't know, 20 years
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Long
So I think that will be, definitely everyone has to work out the kinks for their own state. So
I can agree there. I think it's interesting that you guys bring up the kind of waiting list for applicants and everything, because in Canada, I've read that recently there's actually an issue with that where there are so many applicants that they actually had to start issuing like emergency
temporary.
emergency like temporary permits to these guys
Yep.
just to keep their supply up, because
Right.
they're not approving enough permits in the same amount of time that the weed is just constantly going. So it's really interesting. They can't really keep up with it in either.
Not just that,
sense.
to piggyback off that, I heard after their temporary license expired, they had to shut down.
Yeah, that's
Which
correct.
sucks.
And it's
You
very
open up
short.
a business. It's like a pop-up shop.
Yeah.
But you invest so much money into it. So that's kind of the kinks that they have to work out, and I'm sure US is closely monitoring everything that Canada's doing right now in terms of that, because it's like, yeah, you get a temporary license, but it's a temporary fix. You still can't have a permanent shop. It sucks, you have to close down. So I don't know what do you think they can do to speed up this process? Not really much, right? You have to do all the testing and all that.
From the cultivator end, it's tough because it's just you just got to jump through the hoops. You know,
Yeah.
it's like any government thing.
And pay the huge fees just to get licensing. It's pretty crazy out here.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine other states and what they have to deal with soon enough.
Yeah. But I mean, for those businesses that can get on board with, you know, all of the legalization and filing of their paperwork, if they can manage to do that, they're in a great spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because not a lot of people can get those licenses right now.
Very true.
And I feel like maybe California is going to be one of the toughest to get licensing, because other states are going to look at California and be like, you know what, we can't be doing what they're doing. There's so many people waiting, and it could be a lot smoother. They could use us as an example and speed up their process for their own state. So I feel like a lot of states would do that, because California is so big and there's so many applicants. So a small state like, you know, New Mexico, North Dakota or something, once it's legalized, I think maybe it could be a lot easier. So we'll find out once we know.
Yeah, and
Well,
the state governments only have so long to comply
Yeah.
and get along with that, because if they don't and it's legal, people will just come over from the next state
Yeah.
and just hustle what they got
And I'm pretty sure
make that money.
their fees are not going to be as high as California. California got the highest fees
way.
for everything. You know, who knows? Maybe growers will start. I mean, they're already moving to Colorado. It's starting to get expensive over there, right? So next state over, maybe Utah, maybe Arizona, New Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to grow weed in the desert, but
Well,
I'm sure a lot of
hydroponics-
people will move out.
hydroponics
You can grow
are a
weed.
wonderful
That's true.
thing.
That is
you
true.
can grow weed
You know
on
what?
any
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So, kind of final thought on this. do we think that if this stuff were to happen this year, totally hypothetical, if all 10 of these got swept and they just every single one went legal or recreational in some way or another, do you guys think that would lead to fully legal 2020 for the US? Or do you think that's too early?
Personally, I don't think by 2020. I think maybe if these 10 states, these are pretty big states in the East Coast. So I think if these become legal, I say within the next 5 years. I don't think within a year or two.
That's what I have in mind too. 5 years.
I think within the next 5 years.
I mean,
5 years.
It's really, I think it really depends. I don't want to get too political, but it depends on who's going to take the White House next in 2020.
That's fair.
You know,
Fair to say, yeah.
That's very
Agree.
Especially the Senate also, since the Senate right now is still Republican,
Right.
and the House is Democratic. If Democrats can pick up the Senate as well as the White House, then I think we're in good track.
It's a big possibility.
I mean,
it's
maybe
a big
because
possibility.
more and more red states are becoming legalized.
Right.
So who knows? I think they're turning around. You know,
I think I remember reading recently that the proposed new Surgeon General that they're trying to kind of poise to take office is very big supporter of,
Right.
That's
of
good.
Mhm.
cannabis.
they should, because it's medical. There's medical proof that CBD or it helps people who need.
Yep.
So I think they're coming around.
That's a big thing.
Yep.
All right, so I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on the weed rave in LA that happened
I
recently.
read about it.
Where was our invite?
You know what? Let me.
What the
I'll give you like a quick breakdown. So this event, right? It was kind of like back in the day, underground music events, underground raves or whatnot. I wouldn't consider
Warehouse
this
parties.
warehouse parties. It's kind of like a warehouse party. I wouldn't consider it as a rave
Yeah.
because it's not like a EDC or whatever. It's not like a massive event, but it's like a low key. It was special invite only. I think you had to follow a certain page on Instagram to get. This is definitely good for cannabis advocacy because they didn't just. It's not just a party where people went to listen to music and smoke weed. They had certain panels that talked about. It was a 3-story. I guess a venue.
It was like a loft thing.
Yeah,
wasn't
so it was kind of like a loft. So the first floor they had food, and then they had panel on the second floor. But there was music and weed throughout, joints everywhere. And then the rooftop was kind of like just like a kick it lounge. I would say it was more like a lounge party with industry people and like weed influencers. So I think I definitely want to go to the next one in February.
For sure.
And what they say it's gonna be, the theme is gonna be a Korean spa. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. They're gonna rent out a Korean spa and turn out into an event. So it's gonna be a different venue every time. So I think it's great.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Is it also educational, you think?
It is kind of panel. Yeah, it's for industry people who wanna I guess advocates, weed advocates or
Okay. I mean, if it's educational, I think it's nothing wrong.
yeah.
But it's for sure until something bad happened.
Yeah.
Like that's how I look at it. Like we can have crazy parties, we can have cool parties, but in LA, but until something bad happened, and
Yeah. I don't think it will come to that because it's not like people are taking ecstasy or whatever. It's just weed.
They're all gonna be just like fucking stuck on their
Chill.
seat.
They'll be more chill if anything. Like, yeah.
The term rave is like very loosely used on that
in that term
situation because
Yeah.
it's not at all like Will said, it's not at all a rave. You're not running around giving light shows and shit. It's a very almost formal. It's like a semi-formal. Like you go there
like a gathering.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's not like they're playing club bangers. It's just like chill
Yeah.
stoner
Club
music,
bangers.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very relaxed event. And it looks good. It's perfect for LA because LA there's a bunch of underground music events.
Right.
Like, Mixed Lab. You have to get invited to that kind of stuff. So I think
I
it's
heard that.
definitely dope for this scene out here.
You even need a password from what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have
like
to
a
pay for a ticket
speakeasy.
and you have to
It's
know the
just
password.
like back then, underground. That's why it's great because you don't have to worry about just random people coming in and ruining it for people.
True.
So it's invite only. So to get an invite, you have to be following a weed page. So that means you're interested in weed and supporting the culture out here. So I think it helps. I don't think they're gonna run into too many issues unless like the neighbors complain. But they're in like a busy area and you smell weed everywhere now in LA. So
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see the cops maybe tripping out and scanning it down to make sure people aren't rolling and all that good
Yeah,
shit. But
yeah.
once they figure out it's a cannabis thing, they're probably not going to give a shit.
Yeah.
Right.
They have other things to worry about. So
Right.
I hope they have like I mean, I'm sure they have security if it's like an invite-only event.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
they
they do.
Yeah, okay. So they'll probably check you if you have like any other type of drug and they just won't let you in if you got it.
Yeah.
Is it 21?
I hope so, at least.
It'd be tough to
21
be
over?
low key, I imagine,
Yeah.
if you're the only person rolling while everybody else is like stoned out of their mind.
And I saw the photos from the website. It's super chill. It's just like
Yeah.
it literally looks like a nice house party, like a rich person's house party, kind of in a
Yeah,
lot.
wasn't that yoga involved too?
Yeah, there's a yoga thing you can do
Yeah.
too. Relax with yoga.
So I mean, I think it should be okay.
yeah,
Let's go to the next one and we'll film it.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
I'm
think it's
down,
great.
dude.
I'm really interested in the CBD cocktails, THC cold brew, and microdose munchies that I read about.
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to know what's up with that. 'Cause,
microdose munchies, huh?
they just provide everything: beverages, food, music, the venue, the industry people. So I think it'll be good for people who are really into it to just check it out.
Do you think this is good or bad for the scene as a whole? Just the way that they're trying to promote it as like a rave rather than a meet and greet, or
I just think personally, I think the name maybe not so much,
Too
but
strong.
the way they advertise, it's really not that bad. Like the photos that they put out, the photographers, it's like a really chill event. So I think they should have just, I don't know, put it like retitle it something else, weed mixer or something, you know. But maybe people won't be
Yeah.
as interested. I think the weed rave name is just to get people like excited.
Yeah.
But I really think it's good for the industry.
it's very marketable for sure.
Yeah, and everything is proper. You know, it's not like just some Mickey Mouse guy in the alley like, hey, come on, check out this event, guys, come through. But it's like a legit security, industry people. It's good. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good. The more things for us to do, stoners, I think can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
Keep us out of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
As long as it's educational at the same time,
Yeah.
nobody can take it down, I think. But the name gotta change for sure. I'm not like the weed rave. Gotta go.
Yeah, maybe
sure.
weed vibes or something like that.
Or
I
like,
don't
or, it doesn't have to have weed in it. You know,
know. I would say 50-50 on that.
we
You
could put like
The Sesh.
Yeah,
If you
like-
come up with a crazier name, maybe.
like
but
a more professional name where like
It's because it's the first one. I think that's why they have to make a name, a bold name, where people are like, "Oh, what is this?" Like, read up about it. I really thought it was gonna be like a giant rave, and people smoking blunts everywhere, but it's not.
Yeah, that's
That's
kinda
why
what
I think it's
envisioned,
great
too.
because it's educational. You can relax, you can chit chat and all that. Don't have to worry about
yeah.
people taking your shit.
Do you think that other events will kind of cop their idea
For sure.
before they're able to?
For
It
sure.
will, it will
build
expand
this up.
Not,
fast.
not
for
just
sure.
in LA. I'm sure other states will start doing it too.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they already have their private events. You went to Colorado. I'm sure there's a bunch of events that you can meet up maybe on Fridays, meet up at this lounge here or meet up at this venue.
Oh, yeah, they
here.
have events at the
yeah,
lounges.
so,
secret rendezvous.
so we're just behind, to be honest. We're just behind. This is a step towards having more CBD businesses, like public businesses, not just dispensaries, like
Yeah.
cafes or hangout spots, stuff like that. Where you imagine like a cafe where you can just smoke weed and work on your projects or work on school, like study what you need to do.
Kind of like Amsterdam, where
Yeah.
they have cafes. Their dispensaries are like their weed places. They call them cafes.
Yeah.
Like they're not like dispensary or
Clinics. or-
clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds better anyways.
Yeah. They just call
And
them
their
cafes.
their vibe is definitely like next level out there.
Yeah. But I heard though you can't just smoke your weed like out in the street. Like you have to be inside a business that allows it, or
Oh really? You can't just walk around smoking blunt?
yeah, I'm not in Amsterdam.
What? I didn't know that. I thought it was just like free for all out there.
Yeah.
Definitely need to go. I've never been. Have you guys gone to Amsterdam before? I definitely want to go. It's on
Plan
the bucket
on
list.
Probably next year, hopefully.
Let's
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
get this podcast big and let's all
We'll do a vlog.
podcast in Amsterdam
Oh,
in a cafe.
in a cafe,
How
yep.
dope would that be? Can't wait for that. Hopefully,
Oh,
we'll set that as a goal. And by that time, within the next year or two, maybe some new crazier, better regulations are out, and man, you can even do. I can only imagine.
I'm really curious if they began doing this on, like, say Insomniac decided to up the ante and
Ooh.
try to really put together like a weed rave. Do you guys think that would be a good or a bad thing?
I'm sure they're working on it.
I guess for me, I would say maybe not a completely weed themed rave, but like an area where you can just hotbox. You know, they have those tents right now where you can, like a Red Bull tent or Heineken tent right now.
Yeah.
Where you can go like enjoy a certain type of music. Like they have like dubstep or all that specifically for the tents, and you can drink Heineken beers. It's sponsored. So if they do like a special like huge tent, and you can just smoke up and there's a DJ playing, but it's still in the event. And if you don't want to be in the area, just put it on the side, you know, like you don't have to go there, but I think it will help a lot. You know, bring in awesome. Way more money. Yeah.
Some like hip hop artists, lo-fi DJs and stuff like that.
Maybe they could do it. Maybe not EDC, maybe like a hard summer or Coachella. I think Coachella would be a perfect place for them. But the thing is, I think Coachella is like for all ages right now. So
I think
if they do a weed tent,
most raves too,
I think
no?
18 and over.
No, I think EDC is 18 and over, right? Yeah, EDC should be 18 and over.
No, so. EDC is 21 and over.
Oh, because of the alcohol event, right? Okay, well, 18 or 21, but they should definitely do one where just have a weed tent and just let people kick in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Exactly, yeah. Because you won't have like, I think if you do an all weed event and people are still doing like the harder drugs and someone dies or something, then it's going to look bad for the industry.
Right,
but if you just have a weed booth inside where you, or an area, designated area, maybe it's gated off, has security, they show you're 21 and you can get in there and just hang out. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Yeah.
I'm sure Insomniac's working on something.
They gotta be. Vegas is legal. Yeah. For sure they're gonna work on something.
Small increments or like small implementations will be nice. Like you said, booth.
Right now you have to sneak it in. Or though if they see it, they'll throw it out.
Right.
That was from my personal experience. Yeah. Especially at Coachella too.
But it's like people still smoke, and people have smoked at like big.
There's just so many. There's just so many
70s.
People. Yeah, they can't catch everybody. They can't catch everybody. Right. But I was just unlucky last year at Coachella where I was just smoking a fat blunt, and then the security guard came out and just took that, threw it on the floor, and just demolished it with his feet. Yeah.
What if you took it and he smoked it after you?
I'd be like, yo, give it back then. You can take a few hits. Well, no, there was another security guard, but he just wanted to take a few hits. I offered it to him, and he was super chill. He let us do our thing and then back. So, yeah. Let's say, would you guys go to these events if it had a weed booth? Say you don't like EDC, like you're not into like that whole EDM music and all that, but they had a specific venue with a tent at EDC and just nonstop 12 hours of hip hop music or like lo-fi chill stuff like stoner music. Or like they just play like Bob Marley or whatever, you know, just relax, have some chairs in there. Would that change your mind about the event?
I think, I mean, personally, I'm not too big of a fan of like, you know, raves. Like I've been to a couple raves.
Yeah.
They're fun, but I feel like the pricing of EDC, just for me to go there for a weed section, I don't think I'm going to do something like that, you know, unless it was like a cannabis cup. Having a party afterwards, and that'd probably be interesting to me.
Yeah.
But as far as EDC, it's just the price. It's
just too expensive, right? Because it's a 3-day event. Okay, right. So what about if it's a 2-day event where you can buy a day pass? Would you do it? If it's still considered a rave, but they have a whole weed like lineup.
I mean, I would do 1 day.
Yeah, 1 day, right? One day would be cool.
I would
like local spot.
Right.
Yeah, I think that will help a lot. Like especially with business, a lot of people will be willing to do it. Like a 1 day banger, $80. Why not?
Yeah.
They can do like a exclusive, like a limited access area.
Yeah, that's what I was
like a restricted area where like, hey, you just want to enjoy like the outside of the show?
Exactly.
Then just pay like $50.
Because right now they have a VIP section. I wouldn't say, I don't think they'll make it cheaper. I think they'll make it like a 1 day pass kind of thing if they do it, and then it'll just have a side area like on your map. It'll say if you want to just smoke weed and chill, come here. Yeah, it would be super dope.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is the way that it is because of the legal implication from the state? Do you think that they are the ones who say, oh, you can't have all these people running around your venue smoking weed? Or do you think it's more of the event companies that are scared to take that risk?
Definitely the state. Event companies, what do they want to do? Make money.
Sure.
They're thinking how much. I think EDC is bringing in like Las Vegas just on taxes alone, like millions of dollars.
No doubt.
And not just that, all the hotels are booked out.
Yeah.
So you don't think they want to get that extra weed smoking market too? Or all the I say let me put it this way. EDC is people come from all over, right? I don't necessarily think a lot of the locals go. Just from because my parents live out there, and just from listening to some people will go, but I feel like if they have a weed event or like a side thing, I think it could bring a lot more like a different crowd too. So it can only help with their business. And maybe if it gets big enough, the whole event, that huge raceway, maybe a bigger section of it could be just like a weed area, just like CBD stuff. Make money off drinks, you make money off weed, you make money off vendors, you make money off merch. Make money off the weed artists, like it's a win-win. They just have to. I honestly think it's the state or city, whatever. They have to get through all the loopholes and all that.
Yeah, I can agree.
I think profit-wise, a weed event in the long run, I think could potentially beat a rave, because you're able to sell basically the cannabis there. When people are going to raves, they're spending money on other things
and they're sneaking
like
drugs in. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But if your event is specifically to cannabis and it's fully legal in that state, then you're gonna be making a lot of money just by being in there.
Yeah,
because that's why people are going there in the first place.
And it'll be way safer. Let's be real.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The only reason why cities look down upon it, you know how EDC was in LA and last one was in 2010, or it's because people died, or like underage people got drugs. But if you're just weed, it's like you're good.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that the biggest thing that they're looking at least from a state like legal standpoint, I think that there's so much stuff built around alcohol and people drinking at shows and how that all works. And I mean, everything affects everything. Like how many people are going to be there, plus how many could potentially be inebriated means this many police officers have to be there and this many vehicles, active duty people have to be watching. I mean, exits have to be accounted for and stuff. We know that people on cannabis are probably less likely to commit some crazy atrocity, but from their perspective, since it's still Schedule 1 and it's still like, there are still people that believe it's classified the same as meth and the same as heroin and shit. So for those people, I mean, they could be the ones potentially putting the heat on that. I think anyways.
Yeah. You always get that negative perspective from the people that doesn't approve.
Right.
I think so. Can't change their mind.
But it'll be a lot easier because it's not in that same drug category as ecstasy or cocaine and all that. Because Nevada's legal, California's legal. So if they want to do an event like that, I'm sure they're working on it. Yeah.
All right. So it looks like it's about time to get into the sesh.
Nice.
We have a couple session topics, but as we said earlier, we may or may not remember to.
Whatever happens, happens. That's the whole point of this segment. Whatever happens, happens.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start packing this.
Let's do it.
We're gonna be smoking the Forbidden Fruit.
Ooh.
Picked it up from the California Caregivers in downtown LA.
Nice.
It is a hybrid of sorts. I think, from what I remember, is a sativa dominant strain.
Nice. That's perfect for the podcast.
Yeah, 15% THC.
Yeah, indica might be a little too strong for the podcast where I just melt into the sea. I'm gonna smell this real quick.
I should have unpacked this before we started.
Smells good, dude. Smells like a little citrusy. Like definitely fruity, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just want to eat it. Or forbidden fruit,
Do you taste
what? It's not forbidden anymore.
What kind of citrusy?
Legal. Smell it.
Is it orangey? Is it grapefruit?
Grapefruit orangey for sure. Smell it.
I think orangey.
Very fresh. You could start making a car air fresheners with that smell. It's like the cops pull you over. Oh, this is my air freshener. Smell it. It'd be funny as hell. You could troll so many cops.
Right?
Smells good.
No, it's not.
Smells like a fruit salad. Yo, push it over, dude.
No. Tip it over.
All right.
Shit.
So while I pack this, you guys want to talk about the Fyre Festival documentary?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Speaking of events, right?
So you watched it, right?
Oh,
Sitt?
man.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Man, it's like,
That guy, Billy, dude.
You
come
fucked
on.
up,
he's
Billy.
the ultimate scammer, dude. And he did not give up.
He kept trying.
If he had just been legit, he would have been one of the most famous fucking entrepreneurs
But
of our
his whole
time.
plan
dude.
was to scam, though. Like from
No,
to be,
I
from
don't
to
think his
begin
whole
with.
plan was to scam. We're talking about the Fyre Festival documentary on Netflix and Hulu right now and Vice. I think he thought he could do it, so he was trying to make it legit. But there were so many logistic issues that he didn't see.
He overlooked.
It's an island and that many people, bathrooms, housing. You have to get all the proper licensing. You remember that part where he said like, yeah, they wanted $175,000 for the water.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't think about that, of course your event's gonna be unsuccessful. I'm sure if he got everything to the event, it would have been amazing. Because all the acts, like the music acts, canceled because like they did not see anything. Nothing was happening. So
Right.
I felt like he just kept scamming because he had no other choice. Like he didn't want to. I think it was definitely he had an ego that he was like, you know what, I'm a businessman. There's no way I can take an L on this. But he took a fat ass L. Like even Ja Rule took a fat ass L.
Yeah.
But Ja Rule didn't really get like the shit end of the stick as much as Billy.
Of course.
Because Billy was the mastermind. Ja Rule was kind of like the
The spokesperson.
Yeah, he was a celebrity endorsement.
Yeah. But during that time, I think, remember that part where Ja Rule was kind of, when things were going to shit, Ja Rule was like, we just got to push through. I think during that time, he should have realized, like, we got to cut this out.
Yeah. True.
Because, they're going through, like, how many lawsuits right now? A shit ton, right?
So many.
And even the influencers, the bloggers, the Instagram models are getting fucked right now.
Yep.
They're suing too.
Yeah, I think Kendall Jenner is getting sued too, right? They're all suing. There's just a shit ton of lawsuits going on.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the documentary? Sitt was the newest person to watch it.
So, I come from a country where there's a lot of corruption already in Thailand.
Say the country. Okay, Thailand.
Yeah. So, to see it in a larger scale, it's not really surprising. But like how you say he was like a mastermind of this type of scam, I think honestly he is the person that's doing it. Like it's Billy, because I think he hired Kylie Jenner.
Kendall. Like a
Kendall
lot.
Jenner.
Like
And
the
he dropped
Hadid
like
sisters and all that. A bunch.
$250K on one model, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of.
So
yeah.
the trustworthy there's a trust there that like how much money he's already investing into it, making other like investors trusting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like
that's the thing.
It was a really believable.
He
theme.
was good at talking.
Yeah, like none of them knew how to throw a party. None of them have a social media background. They hire a fuck Bill. What was it? Fuck
Jerry.
Fuck Jerry for their social media platform, and then they do marketing for them. They hire like just about everyone to like
everyone you
make it
need
happen.
to get big.
Yeah, because they know like that Billy and his team themselves never knew how to like they never throw a party before, and they're trying to do something like way out of the league. So spending that much money to begin with, I mean, I think Billy knew what was coming, but he just
ignored it. I think.
He was a great
and overlooked like Will said, like he overlooked that like, oh shit, water is $200K. There's 3 yachts. That's gonna be like $100K each. There's photographers. There's drone shots. There's fucking underwater.
I think just on influencers alone, it was a couple mil.
Yeah, just
because they got all the big names.
Yeah, all models.
I think for him, he was such a sweet talker. He just saw the light at the end of the tunnel, but he didn't see what it takes to get to the light, like all the logistics. Because it's not easy putting together.
Exactly.
The first Las Vegas EDC was a shit show.
Yeah.
Like I paid for VIP and no one knew. All the workers there in the parking lot security, no one knew where the fuck the VIP section was. So I literally spent all that extra money and I couldn't even get to the VIP because I didn't know at the time. But it takes practice. So he thinks he can just bum rush an event with one year time on an island. If he did it in like LA downtown or Las Vegas, a venue like a stadium, it would have been way easier. But he did an island. There's so many flying,
like a venue that's prepped for big events.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have flat rates for what you need to pay.
Not a tiny island with locals that got fucked over. I felt bad. That was the worst part. For the guests, I mean, some of the guests were just fucking rich. They were like Cabana of 25,000 or something like that. Yep. Like, okay, I don't feel as bad because they didn't take fat L, but the people who just spent all their money on that just wanted to have a good time, or that Jamaicans, the local Jamaican ladies, the businesses. Remember that Jamaican lady who owned that restaurant and got fucked out of like $100K?
I actually read today she has a Kickstarter that raised like
GoFundMe.
150.
Yep.
Yeah, GoFundMe. She got 150,000 raised for that.
I'm happy, but I'm not happy because you know how GoFundMes are nowadays, especially what happened with that homeless guy with a GoFundMe. It was like hundreds of $1,000s, and he got like 10% of it, and the couple who started it for him kept the rest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, it's really hard to do a GoFundMe. Like everyone does a GoFundMe now, but they really have to dig into it. Who's actually getting the money? Yeah. But I know GoFundMe said like we're monitoring it like way harder now, especially with all this bullshit that's been happening.
I don't know. It only really had me mad because I felt like that money really should have come out of Ja and fucking Billy. Like it was their fault. They routed everybody to that event to buy time. That was totally their idea. So, I mean...
Does Ja even have money right now? I heard isn't he like... I know he's going on tour or something, right? Good luck to his tour. He's about to get destroyed at his tour.
His social media looks real bad right
Shout
now.
out to Fitty.
I feel...
Oh, yeah, he shut off his
feel
social
bad
media,
for him.
right?
Yeah,
Damn, that sucks, dude. His life is ruined because even if people go to his shows, they're probably going to throw shit at him or like harass him, heckle him hella hard, dude. Yeah. Think about that. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to cancel his tour.
He's a great artist.
Back then, ja Rule and Ashanti.
So I didn't know. Okay, so the point was I don't know why Billy hired Ja Rule as a spokesperson to begin with. Like he was the face of the party. Right?
They were friends, and I think
they already had previous businesses together before that.
I watched an interview where
holy shit,
where Billy was trying to reach out to Ja Rule before they even met as a friend, and I think Billy spent like $3,000 to $4,000 just to get Ja Rule to reply on his Instagram. It was like through a promoter of a promoter. Each promoter wanted like $500 to $1,000 for the next promoter's number to get to Ja Rule.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, out of all that hard work, like, why would he pick Ja Rule? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe the other people just didn't want to do it.
If you were to invite me to a party and you said like, "Hey, Ja Rule is the headline," I'd be like, "Hell no, I'm not going." You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, it depends. It's personal preference. I think he saw. I mean, he has an eye for business, so obviously it was working. Didn't it sell out?
I think the concept of the party sold itself, you know?
And Ja Rule's like kind of like a hype man, you know? So he like hypes everybody up. So it was a good marketing, like that video. Remember the video they made?
Oh yeah, that video was fuck Jerry social media for sure.
Yeah, so he fits that shit. So I think that's either way, we'll see how this unfolds because all the lawsuits are still going on, right?
Yeah.
It was a great documentary though.
Yeah,
very
interesting.
interesting.
Awesome.
Loved it.
Really well done.
Do you think at the end of this to wrap things up about this Fyre Festival, like, do you think these documentaries made him money?
Well,
I thought about that the whole time.
I heard he's trying to get money, but for sure Netflix denied it.
But who released all those behind the scenes tapes and shit?
Anybody willing to make money.
People that worked.
Yeah, people that worked there and they want some money.
And then
back.
they legally are able to do that now because it's kind of like evidence.
Because hella people didn't get paid. Like people on the island are still trying to get paid for all that.
Do you remember at the end of the Netflix one, right? The guy was like, "Oh, hey, Billy," at the end. So that's what I was like, dude, is he getting fucking paid for this? Because that would be like, holy shit, you got us.
Home run.
Again.
A full circle scam.
A full circle. Like, props to him. He's like the Wolf of Wall Street. Like a bootleg Wolf of Wall Street.
He was on the phone with his homie, right?
Yeah. No, like that. The worker was like, "Hey, Billy." Like, he was talking to, made it seem like he's talking to Billy. So I'm just like really wondering. But I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah. I think he's trying to get money for it, but he's not going to get it.
If he does, man, props. I'm not even mad.
The last thing I want to add on the Fyre Fest thing is just that I do feel like, I mean, Billy fucked up and Ja fucked up, but I think at a certain point, some of these other companies that were fucking with them kind of fucked up too. Like the Netflix one, they were interviewing the dude that ran the logistics company and ran the whole like building out the show.
Yeah.
I mean, they billed them for like $30 something million, and they knew they only had 8 weeks to go.
And they had a budget too, I
knew
think.
that the logistics weren't going to fucking work out, but they were not about to say, "Oh, I don't want that $32 million."
Well, didn't they try to tell Billy like, we're not going to have enough time? Remember in the documentary?
After the fact, but when it came to signing the shit, like
they knew it was
they were
supposed
just
to
give us that.
Oh yeah, the money is up
Well,
front.
they didn't count on all the freight and the storms. I think that kind of fucked up a lot of things. The tents were all wet. But anyway,
that is true.
Either way, great documentary.
Yeah, it was really good. Did you guys see the Gordon Ramsay Hot Ones?
Yeah, it was epic. I've been waiting a long time for that.
Would you say that's the best Hot Ones episode
I think so.
ever shot?
I'm just a
It's pretty
huge.
damn good.
I'm a huge Gordon Ramsay fan. I watch like a lot of his shows.
Yeah.
So anything that he does, especially where he's just swearing all the time, it's just fucking hilarious.
He got so mad.
That thing
Hilarious.
had like
I've never seen him get wrecked like that. So
His
that was-
palate
that was
is
amazing.
too high end.
Mhm.
He's not like one of us, like, because I eat spicy all the time, and you're Thai, so you probably eat like lava for lunch. So, like let's just say we can all eat decently spicy,
Yeah.
but there's no. Maybe we should just try it. Like, how hot is really those hot sauces?
Oh man.
Because you see other people like tear through it like ain't no thing. You remember that one actress? I was so surprised she was able to. That South African actress. What's her name? The blonde. She ate those wings like it was nothing.
I'm not
Damn,
sure.
I'm trying to remember. She was in she played the White Witch in the Snow White movie or whatever.
white noise.
No, the actress, the South Africa. What? I'm trying to think what movie she was in. Damn, I'm going blank right now. Anyways, she killed it. Damn.
I don't know.
You know, did you guys watch Snow White? She played the evil queen.
I haven't seen Snow White.
Like, that's Snow White. Fuck, dude. Anyways. I'm trying to think of another movie that she was in.
Angelina Jolie.
No, she's blonde and she's like from South Africa. She has a unique name.
Oh, you're never gonna remember that.
Pile.
No, I'm gonna remember right now. I'm gonna
Damn,
remember
what was
right
this 2005?
Stabbing in the dark, man.
now. I'm gonna find it.
All right. Who's your favorite Hot Ones celebrity to be on the show?
Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron. She was the one to do it. Anyways, yeah, that was the actress. You guys know her?
No. Not familiar.
I was so
What?
excited for Eddie Wong, but man,
He got wrecked twice. No, he
done-
redeemed
he
himself.
done messed up.
He redeemed himself, dude. What you mean?
Did he?
Yeah.
He did it twice.
Oh, really?
She was in Atomic Blonde.
That sounds like
Not
hot
bad.
sauce.
All right, never mind. I guess not. Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
She was
She's
she was
pretty.
the main girl. Yeah. Charlize Theron. She was in Snow White and she was in hella movies. But anyways, back to what you were saying. It was just gonna bug me if I didn't.
So I got like 15 millions in like 3 days, and the second highest views on Hot Ones was
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
I love Terry Crews.
Terry
I
Crews
love
is
that guy.
He
man.
beasted that pretty hard too, kind of.
Yeah,
Gordon pretty much got wrecked the hardest, I think, and
Oh.
Eddie Huang the first time.
yeah. I think a lot of people were happy that he got wrecked.
I think
I'm-
Wiz Khalifa got wrecked pretty good too.
Oh, he was
He was
mad too.
crying.
Didn't Khaled like jump out after like 2 fucking wings?
Oh,
or
actually,
some shit?
maybe.
I didn't watch the episode, but I kept hearing him call back to like, oh, didn't he bitch out after this sauce? Oh, what the
You know
fuck,
who
Swain?
killed it? Michael B. Jordan killed it on it.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Ain't no thing, hot sauce." But yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people like went through it, but I think a lot of them did it before the revision of the hot sauce. You know.
okay. So let's say, who would you want to see next?
Some Korean pop stars, fool.
Have they had Childish Gambino on there?
I don't think
I
so.
didn't see him on there.
I would
Donald
like Childish
Glover?
Gambino.
That would be pretty good.
Wanna
Was
see-
he? I felt like
I don't-
maybe he
I don't
was.
think
He's
so.
too
Maybe.
big to not. Maybe who else hasn't? How's huge hasn't gone on? I want to see like Leonardo DiCaprio on and shit.
There's a lot.
Because
More
Donald
actors.
Glover, he's just gonna start body rolling.
I want to see
Like,
50 Cent,
oh, this shit's spicy.
The Game,
Damn.
Soldier Boy.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to see
Soulja Boy.
Soldier Boy on
Oh,
that
yeah,
show.
he's relevant now.
You.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, maybe him. I just want to see him get wrecked. Or Kobe. I want to see Kobe on it.
Kobe.
That'd be nice.
That'd be sick. Or
No,
LeBron.
he has a strict diet. I don't
Yeah,
think he's
no,
gonna
he's black
fucking-
mom. No, he's retired now. He's good.
You think he just eats whatever now? I don't think he's.
No.
Hell
he-
yeah, he'll
he's
have
in
that
shape.
bod soon, dude.
He ain't Shaq. But yeah, anyways.
I know it's a little late into it, but Will, could you just for the listeners kind of run through what Hot Ones is, like what they do, just for people who haven't seen it?
Okay, if you haven't seen Hot Ones, I don't know where the fuck you've been. It's kind of like a First We Feast channel, right? First We Feast.
Yeah, then we ask.
Is it by the same guys as Complex?
It's
Yeah,
complex.
it's complex.
Okay, it's Complex. Sean from Complex, the great host. They get a celebrity. Elon Musk, has he gone on that? I would love to see Elon on it. Anyways, they go on the show. They get interviewed, but eating a bunch of different chicken wings, and as it gets, each one gets hotter and hotter. And I think the spiciness and it makes you sweat. You kind of answer. They have good questions too. It kind of answers like heart of it's just kind of like out of nowhere. You kind of have to answer the truth because you're like
It makes you more truthful.
Yeah, it makes you.
For
It's
sure.
kind of like a truth serum.
Yeah, because you can't think about anything
Yeah.
else.
And it's a great concept as long as you have great questions. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a great show. If you haven't seen it, where the fuck you've been living, and just get on that. It's amazing. I want to see Elon Musk on it too. If he hasn't been on
What
it.
season are they on now? Like
Or
the
Jeff Bezos.
8th season or something like
Dude,
that?
I don't know, but it's huge. That channel has gotten so huge.
They have
Yeah.
everybody. If you like anybody who's famous, like even one person, they've probably been on Hot Ones.
You want to be. You probably hit up Hot Ones like, can I be on the show? Because it's huge.
Well,
There's
we
so
eat
many
hot wings
people.
and
and
ask
it's for the
hotter
culture.
questions.
It's like a culture channel. But that's pretty much it, and it wraps today's episode up. Thanks for joining us
Thank you for joining us, guys.
at the 8th hour.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at No Days Off with a V, not an A. And if you're listening to audio only, be sure to check our YouTube channel to see the podcast in all its half-baked glory. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
And other podcast outlets.
Kobe.